Hola and bienvenidos, welcome. This video is just to explain how this Enséñame curriculum works. I teach with a method called Comprehensible Input, or CI for short. By implementing this method, you're going to be speaking and hearing and reading nothing but Spanish from the first class. No, this is not a gimmick. No, you cannot become fluent after 1 or 2 months as some people claim. But the reason that you're able to use the language from the first class is because, as the name states, I have to make it comprehensible. That is my job, to make it comprehensible for you. How do I do that? With translations on the screen, pictures, and gestures. So don't be mistaken. We will not be having some spontaneous conversation during the first class. It will be simple and we'll keep building. So how this works is I introduce you to 3 phrases. All of the phrases I'm going to introduce you to are high-frequency words or phrases. And the phrases that I choose tend to be centered around verbs, not nouns or adjectives, although you will see those too. Why? Because the verb is the most difficult part of the language. What do I do with it to say I go instead of you go? What do I do with the verb to say I went instead of I go? What do I do to say I will have gone instead of I go? It gets complicated quickly. So that's why we're going to focus on the verbs. Because with the assistance of a dictionary, which I recommend wordreference.com, you're able to look up those nouns and adjectives and adverbs and use them with better accuracy than if you were to look up a verb. So as I was saying, I'm going to introduce you to 3 phrases at a time. We're going to hear those phrases in a story. We're going to speak those 3 phrases in conversation. I'm asking you questions about yourself or questions about a character in a story. And we're also going to read a story that uses them. After we focus on those 3 phrases, we will add another 3. Note, I said add, because in typical language classrooms, you memorize this list, you take a test, you forget it, you move on, repeat. No, here in this course, we will keep adding to what we've already covered so you don't lose it. The key is to keep it fresh. And also, like I said, they're high-frequency words, so there's no getting around not using them. Next, how do you use this course? All you have to do is follow it in numerical order, and I will keep them in a playlist by levels. So for now, you'll just need to find the Spanish 1 playlist, and then go in order 1, 2, 3, 4, until I've finished my Spanish 1 curriculum, the Enséñame curriculum. And then once I've recorded all of those videos, I will start a playlist for Spanish 2, and it will be the same thing. Spanish 2, lesson 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just follow them in numerical order. If you are also a Spanish teacher, feel free to use these videos when you need an emergency subplan, if you're out on maternity leave, or your voice just can't do it today. In the video title, along with the lesson number, I will put what structures we're using in parentheses to quickly find a video that suits what you and your students are currently working on in your classroom. The last thing you need to know before we get started is that in the description box of every video, I will leave you materials. It might be a vocabulary list, it might be an activity or homework, but always check the description box. Almost all of the materials in the description box will be free. There will be a couple for sale at a very fair price. And if you like to learn via songs, be sure to look for my song playlist too, because I've written some songs for you to learn from. And the last thing I'll say is at the beginning of the course, some of the vocabulary is more geared to someone that is in middle school or high school, talking about what classes you have or whatnot. Even if you're not currently in school, the vocabulary is practical, it's going to help you understand the sentence structure, and eventually the vocabulary will be geared to someone that's more in the workforce as well. But it will still apply to middle school and high school too. Some of them will be getting their first jobs, mowing yards, lifeguarding. So that's it for this video. Head on over to your first lesson.